Ted Ferguson, Bud Light Daredevil. Today for Bud Light, I'll attempt my most difficult stunt so far. I will stay 2 full minutes past 5 on a Friday. Hey, Ted.
See you, Janice.
Hey, time!
Get him up. Get out. Ted, can you hear me?
I need a Bud Light.
Don't you give up on me, Ted.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Put that on my review.
Oh, yeah.
Greg, I don't know that much about beer. I mean, I've drunk my share of beer, but there was just a moment in the commercial when he's grimacing that made me wonder, does light beer more than regular beer cause constipation?
I don't know. It certainly doesn't cause verbal constipation. It tends to get people going a little bit. I have to say, this it made me giggle, this one. But I also said it says a lot about the Americans, the American job, work in general. We just that idea that we all hate our jobs and that our jobs are all miserable, which just bums me out because I love what I do for a living and I like working, and just that idea, and I know that's not supposed to be the big picture, but you just sit there going, well, they must think people hate their jobs. It's just that much, and just hate their work, which makes me sad in a way. I hate the fact that people spend time in life in jobs that they hate. You know what I mean? That overall idea to me really bums me out, and especially in America, I mean, certainly it's probably commonplace, but then you're like, people have jobs because they have bills they have to pay because they got themselves in situations where they had to spend money where they didn't want to, and they got to pay things back, and you're like, oh, God, it just makes me tired, and then I understand, and maybe I want a Bud Light. But I actually think it's kind of cute. I thought the actor was pretty funny. I think it's a really pretty funny premise, and I think I would love the commercial if he didn't ask for a Bud Light at the end. If he just asked for air or something like that. I'd say, oh, God,
He was like he was going to get it in it.
Well, I will say that I think the best cure for work is beer. It's funny because I have almost the exact take on this that Greg had, and it's the same thing. Everyone can identify with this, and I agree that too many people, especially Americans, spend too much of their lives going places they don't want to do things they don't want to do, and it's just, it's a waste of your life, waste of a good chunk of your life. If you work 8 hours a day, that's just about a third of your life, doing stuff you hate.
And then, I mean, he hates it so much that it's not even like he's going to be working for the next 2 minutes. He's just going to be sitting there. That alone is so painful.
Because he's bored. Like, it's actually, not only that, he's just bored of being there so much that just even being there is just, treachery,
Well, and he needs that damn beer.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
Totally.
This commercial is an extension of the movie Office Space, which basically at the end, if you do like your job, makes you say, thank God I like my job, because it just does. It makes it look like it's such a struggle to even be there. And so I'm with you, Greg. Like, it makes me very thankful that I have a job I love, and, I don't think about how many minutes I'm there.
Bud's going to hate me for saying this, as probably the entire beer industry, but they know who buys beer, they know how beer gets consumed, and they know that 10% of the people who walk into a liquor store are alcoholics. But they know that 60% of the product going out the door is bought by alcoholics. And this message is, you need a beer 2 minutes after work. Need a beer. Yeah. I think that this is a really pernicious ad.
Yeah. I mean, he really, really wants it. I mean, he hates his life so much he needs to check out as quickly as possible. Sadly, he's using Bud Light. I mean, if it was me, I would fall to the ground and go, tequila. You know what I mean? Or like that, or whatever.
Are we saying that no one at this table has done that? Fallen into that little hole?
Fair enough. No, I'm with you there.
It's geared towards young people, too. Like, young people who maybe this is their first job. I really got that sense, and I think a lot of ads lately are geared towards people. It's their first job. How are they dealing? A lot of their friends aren't working yet. Oh my God, I need a Bud Light, 2 minutes after.
May I jump on that right away? Because that's a point that I keep making, is that if you'll notice, the beer companies right now are targeting young adults, like I won't mention other ads, but they're targeting it now because of the popularity among young people of cocktails and other drinks like
sugar alcohol, right?
Well, that's what the beer pops like.
And beer is on the downslide right now. Yeah. I just talked to somebody who was saying from this particular company that beer is actually, sales are down, and they're desperately trying to get them up.
And for the first time, one company I know, their sales are down, or their stock is down for the first time ever.
Yeah, and because people are sort of getting into hard liquor, which is awesome for us as a people.
Well, yeah.
I just
beer is your training wheels. No, really,
it's the gateway.
I gotta say,
you need to learn to drink before you do the shooters.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think we can. We don't have
hard alcohol.
No,
it's advertised on commercial. They can't sponsor public television, but I've seen ads that just say 40% alcohol by volume.
I think they changed that actually. There was a while when you couldn't advertise hard. Well, it was voluntary.
So I find it interesting that you get everyone like sympathizes with Ted, but I found him sort of annoying, and I always thought that it would be funnier if there weren't his like aides that come and like help him out right after his 2 minutes. Like if no one paid any attention to him, I thought it'd be funny.
Isn't it part of the alcoholism thing? They're the enablers.
They're trying to help him out. He's a Bud Light, man.
Above it, you didn't dare carry in yourself. Yeah.
You gotta love the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads, like the sweat coming down.
Yeah, I mean, as a commercial, it's well directed, it's well put together. There's thought into it. It's been art directed well, and
well
everything.
budgeted.
Budweiser.
Yeah, I can short it.
Yeah, I mean, always at the crux of these things, there's a big corporation at the top, and at the bottom there are some frustrated artists who are in advertising and/or directing commercials who are doing the best that they can. And there's some visionary people in both of those places. So it's always very interesting to see what they do. And so I think that there's a good vibe with this commercial. But what it's saying overall is like we hate our job, and then our reward for it is a light beer.
Yeah.
The message was not centered around work. I could see it working better if it wasn't a guy in the office.
At the end, Ted says, "Put that on my review." Tim, what do you want on your review?
On my review, stunningly adequate.
Nana.
I don't have reviews because I use sex to get ahead.
Dang it.
I do that too.
I can't even follow that.
Great.
Sober.
I was acquitted on a technicality. That's all we got time for. Come play with us again next week on Mental Engineering.